Okay, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the men of great millstone. Shalom to the Akim, and if you walk while they may be listening. This is your brother Batakallah from the GMS camp here in Chicago, coming back at you with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai. Lord willing, this will be an edifying lesson, all right? But, last night I had a dream, and it was nothing super crazy or nothing like that, but I had seen in the dream I was with my cousin, who I was very close with in the world. He was like a brother, and this is probably the person that I tried to you know encourage to come into the truth with me the most out of anybody, as far as that I dealt with in the world. But sent the brother videos. Well, he ain't one of the brothers, but sent the Jake videos. Tried to break things down for him, etc. But nonetheless, obviously it didn't work. But when I seen him in the dream, and I haven't seen him in a couple years now. But when I seen him in the dream, he took me to his house, and his house was just a small room. Salakia. His house was just like a room. It was one room, and this dude had 8 kids. He had these 2 jigaboos that he had with him. He had 8 kids, and then these jigaboos had like another 8 or 9 kids between them that weren't his kids that was there also. And it was like he was under a spell. Um, I mean, I know him. I know how he is, and the way he was acting, it was like he was under a trance or a spell. When I'm like seeing this shit, and I'm just like looking at it through the spirit, like, man, this dude is through, and it was kind of fucking me up. But the message that I got from it is that and no, I'm not gonna drag no woman or anything in this video, because the women were they were negligent in the dream. It wasn't, they didn't really do nothing, but the message that I got from it is that these people, man, that you may have been cool with, and been friends with, or had love for while you was in the world, they are of the world. They have nothing to do with this truth, and it's nothing that you're gonna do that's gonna pull them out of that. All right. And what I feel like I said, the message that I gathered was that wasn't necessarily that the literal message of what I was given or what I saw, but it was that these people that's in the world, they're stuck and they're confined to a small place, and they have things that are holding them and tying them to this world that they can't shake, man. And children would represent something like that. It's very difficult for somebody to have a child and walk away from that if that's what them being in this truth requires, or because in a lot of, I'm not saying brothers abandon their children to be in the truth, but the Lord may have it set up where once you come into the truth, that gets taken away, and a lot of people wouldn't be able to stomach that. A lot of people wouldn't be able to stomach losing their woman, and that's why I think that those things were represented in the dream, you know but it really just represents people's inability to detach from this world and escape captivity, because like I said, his home was just a room, but he had like 20 motherfuckers in there, and he was cool. He wasn't stressed. He was proud of what he was doing. A lot of these, like I said, over half of the children that was there wasn't even his. There was children that these chicks had prior to dealing with him, and he didn't care, man. And that's how these people of this world are, all right? So, Salakia, enough of the backstory. We're going to get these precepts, and then, Lord willing, we'll close it out. And this is edifying. This is John 15 and 16. It says, "Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that ye should go and bring forth fruit, that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask for of the Father in my name, he may give you." All right. And, you know, That's something that we have to remember, and it's a lesson that you learn early on because for the most part, every brother that I've ever spoken to, when they first come into the truth, the first thing they try to do is wake Jake up, but it's not. It's our job to go out here and preach and teach this truth, but it's not our job to wake people up. The Lord is the one who decides who wakes up and who doesn't. All we are mandated to do is to go out and teach and give the message. That's it. It don't matter how good in delivery you are. It don't matter how eloquent of a speaker you are. It don't matter how charismatic you are. If the Lord don't want somebody to wake up, they not gonna wake up, man. If the Lord is not dealing with somebody, they're not gonna receive this truth. It don't matter how much you love that person or cared about that person in the world or whatever, you know. And that was a hard lesson that we all had to learn in the beginning. All right, but it shows you just how heavy the gift that you have is, man. And that's why you can't really you get to a point, and now I don't believe that I've ever met a brother that suffered from this, but you get to a point, or the reason is because you get to a point where you've tried to tell so many people that you thought cared about you, and then they don't give a fuck. But it's really not you that they have a problem with; it's the Lord that they have a problem with. That's why the Lord rejects them. All right, and you have to also remember that we don't know who these people were in our past life. These people could have double crossed us, and God knows what else. And the elder brother Murph says that all the time. It's people in your life that the Lord will put in a close proximity to you, and in a past life, this person sold you out. This person could have killed you. This person could have dealt with your wife wickedly. As far as some adulterous type shit, you don't know what these people have done. All we know is that these people are the descendants of those that killed the prophets. If you not, if you don't, if you one of these 2/3, you are the descendants of somebody that killed the prophets, man. And when I say descendants, back in the reincarnation, all right, not just that was my grandfather. I didn't do that. No, back in the reincarnation. These people are all back in their lot, man, and that's something that you have to remember because you can want so much for somebody to come into this truth, and no matter what you do, it won't work. But it isn't because you're not doing your job properly. It's because the Lord is not calling them. All right, but like I said, that's why it's so heavy, the gift that we got, and we have to continue to endure. This Matthew 22:14, for many are called but few are chosen, and we got to remember that. All right, none of us have made it on a chariot yet, but we have been blessed to receive the call, and Lord willing, we're going to endure and fight to receive our crown in the end, man. And the Lord willing, Yahweh Shai and the Father Yahweh will find us worthy of that honor, man. And we'll be given that. We'll receive salvation while this place gets destroyed. All right, but you got to remember, these people, they got debts that you don't even know about. All right, and they have a problem with the Lord first and foremost. All right, this is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 8 and verse 7. And it says, so let me see if I want to read up. I'm gonna read up. This is 1 Samuel chapter 8 and verse 4. It says, Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah and said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. All right. So Samuel was presiding over and was the one. He was a prophet, so they came to him for understanding, they came to him for instruction, etc. All right, and it came a point in time where the people of Israel wanted a king, and like all the other nations, instead of wanting to continue with dealing with Samuel. And as you see, the excuse that they gave was that he was old, and then his sons was wicked too. But as far as Samuel as the individual, the excuse they gave was that he was old. All right. It says, verse 6, but the thing displeased Samuel when they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people and all that they say unto thee, For they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. All right. And that's what we have to remember. When we're going out here teaching on these highways and byways, for those of you that are new in this faith and you trying to tell your so-called family, which is your relatives, all right, because the brothers are your family, all right, but you try to tell your relatives or your friends, so-called friends in the world, and you try to wake them up, when they don't want to listen and they don't decide what's like it, when they don't want to listen and they don't come to the understanding that they need to wake up and start doing this work, don't get offended, man, because they rejecting the Lord, all right, and they're gonna pay the price for that at the end of the day, man. All right, but don't take it personal, all right, because this is a part of what we signed up for. And Salakia, let me just see, because I think there's something in Sirach that I want to get, because these people, and a lot of times too, and this is one thing that I experienced, um, people will, Salakia, I think it's like 26-ish, Salakia. But people will understand that you're trying to change your life. And first of all, they only see you when you're at your lowest. So, as it says, it's like we're gonna get that precept too. I just want to see if I can find what I wanted. But I don't think it's in this. Let me see if it's in chapter 3. Salakia, Akim, I just something I wanted to bring out, but I don't remember where it's at. Con, I don't remember where it's at, so I'll just have to bring that out another lesson. But just along the lines, let me just see if it's in this 5th chapter. My bad. I think it's this. No. Con, Salakia, my bad. I'm trying to find this precept and I can't find it. But nonetheless, these people think that when you come to them, offering them the truth, that them turning it down is going to disrespect or hurt the Lord or disrespect you. And yeah, you're going to be you're going to get upset, of course, because you love the Lord and you trying to help these people and they don't care. All right, but guess what? At the end of the day, these people are only cursing themselves. It's nothing that they can do to the Lord, man. The Lord is not within your grasp. The Lord is not affected by the shit that these people do, man. Really all they doing is condemning themselves. And another thing is that like people will see that you are convicted and passionate about Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, and in order to disrespect you or get you off your square, they'll disrespect the Lord, and hey, they're gonna have to pay the price for that. Every idle word is being taken account of. And that's what these people, they think it's a fucking game, man. All right. But the Lord got something for these people because I think it's chapter 9 and 13. The Lord got something. Nope. Again, that's just 9 and 13. But the Lord got something for these people, man. Everybody thinks that shit is just going to be cool and that nobody ever is going to have to pay for nothing, and that's not what it is. All right, but we like I said, we go out, we want to do our job, but we understand that it's up to the Lord ultimately who gets delivered. All right, and we're not really worried about these people that's in the world. All right, we worried about ourselves. That's why we go outside, really, first and foremost for the Lord. But we got debts to pay as individuals ourselves, man. And the way we pay that debt off is by doing this work. And the way that we do this work is going out and spreading the message, whether these people want to hear it or not. All right, this is Second Esdras 9:13, and therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is and for whom the world is created. All right, so that's the mindset that we gotta have. All right, are we gonna get offended by people? Yes. Are people gonna disrespect the Lord and disrespect us for being followers of the Lord? Yes, that's a part of this ministry. All right, they hate it, as it says. It's like I'm just gonna get it. Uh, because they hated Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai first, man. All right, and it's just that simple. Salakia, get this preset. Uh, hold on. Fuck, man. Con, here we go. This is John 15:18. It says, "If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you." All right, so like I said, really, these people got an issue with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. We're just the herald or the messenger, you know. So yeah, you're the one standing right there in front of them. So yeah, they're gonna try to lash out on you, or they're not gonna listen to you, and you get offended by that, if you know. But it is what it is. They're gonna have to pay for that at the end of the day. We are here to do our job and get the blood off our hands. After that, these people here in this world that's stuck on this shit, they're gonna get left here, man. And then they're gonna come back as somebody's child in the kingdom if they a Jake. If they not a Jake, then shit, fuck them. Let them live it up. All right. For all you Jakes that don't want to listen and don't want to get right, you're just gonna get left here, man. All right, because we're worried about how we're gonna make it. We're not. We gotta have focus on that instead of focusing on what's gonna happen to this nigger or that nigger. They're gonna die. That's what's gonna happen to them. All right. But with that being said, we're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Kakwadash, double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the men of great millstone. Shalom to the Akim and a few Akwats who may be listening. Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson. Until next time, Shalom.